Now, see, I'm trying to figure out why everything is coming to the light. It's very important you guys understand this because it takes everything from position and why I became commander of everything through operation. When it comes into the Galactic Federation of Light, where it came into my first time through transmissions, I want to share you a personal story. But before I get into it, thank you, subscribers, viewers, and everyone who's watching my channels. I keep you enforcing on what's going on through connections. This all has to do with connections of the beginning of World War I and World War II. And this is where I come in through position. So basically, if you have any questions or comments, you go through my email, you can go through my healing, open up your transmission system, open up your programs. I'll put you in the D.O.S.L connection system. They're more understanding communication of what Reich is. Communication when it comes into World War I of Reich, World War I, okay, the regiments, everything to the POWs. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. When I was younger, back into the 80s and 90s, I had a grandfather, very nice to me. I used to get up every morning and he used to talk about war stories. I said, Grandpa, why are you talking to me about war stories? Well, he said, grandson, you have to understand what's going on with the war because one day you're going to know why. So it came really interesting to me. I mean, I was very young, but I couldn't understand it. But he was telling me the truth about the wars. He lived the wars in World War II. He flew the Tigers Regiment of the Kitty Hawk, the POWs. And he was also in the Great Escape. He was in the concentration camps with the Nazis and the Germans. He was held back. So he's very famous in that area. And I was trying to think, why is my grandfather giving me information when I was a kid? And then it came to me. I realized, wow, this is extremely powerful. This has a lot to do with the awakening of the spiritual order of humanity. I said, okay, so what do I do now? So last night, because I'm prepared, because I'm a commander, because I'm a force of everything through connection, the operation systems, my grandfather came into me last night, into his uniform, and he gave me documents and documents and documents of files of World War II. I said, whoa, what do I do with this? And he says, you'll know. So basically, he's put me in that position where when family comes into the light, you guys will get that too when you go to higher ranks. Okay, you guys are at the optical levels right now when it comes into the MIs, MI6, MI7. You understand your documentations, you understand your program setting, you understand your surveillance. This has a lot to do, okay, with history when it comes into World War I and World War II, and how World War III is basically one world order, okay? And that's what Adolf Hitler was doing, right? The Third Reich, right? There's the Second Reich. The Third Reich is the spiritual of its awakening of humanity. So, and this is where it gets really interesting. I said, okay, grandfather, so what are you going to tell me now? So he told me that he was shot down. And basically when he was shot down, he was kidnapped, put in the concentration camps. Think of that. My grandfather was part of the Great Escape. So then it started making more sense to me. And I said, okay, so what do I do with this now? So as I was sleeping, you know, I'm always in space and all that. He was giving me files of documents and I was going through film projection, like, I know exactly what everybody needs to do through the mission. So think about it. It's all fighting back into the spiritual system of its world. Okay. So we come into the First Reich, we come into the Second, and now we're in the Third. The Third is the spiritual warfare with humanity. And I'm saying, whoa, this is making a lot more sense now, right? There's an article on my grandfather, Ray Douglas Guess, where he was part of the POWs in World War II, where he flew the Kitty Hawk and he was shutting down, you know, all the Nazis and all that. And I said, this is fantastic stuff. But I was trying to figure out why he was telling me the stories. And now it makes more sense now because I'm coming more into the light. Remember, when you wake up, you're always remembering more of who you are. And all this has to do with World War I and II. Okay. But it was so real when your family comes in from the heavens of the sky, the golden realms, right? It was so real because I'm so much informed of what's going on right now. And then say, why would I be talking about this? And I say, well, why would I be, coming into an alliance? Why would I be forming a team into MI? And then it started making more sense to me why this was all coming into the light, right? So I just wanted to share that with you, how powerful it is when you come into these things, right? So, and the thing is too, my grandfather passed away back in the 80s. And, I never saw him pass away. My brother did. But the thing is that when he came to me, it started making more sense why he was telling me the stories when I was a kid. I was trying to make sense of that. And then he said, you'll know why. So that comes to me right now. Okay. Because I'll be turning 52. Right. So when I turn 52, right, everything is going to make sense for me. And everything comes in time. I mean, it's really powerful how we look at our life and we wonder why we have World War I and II, and why we're coming into the spiritual warfare of humanity, which is the Third Reich. Okay. So you guys try to understand why I say concentration camps. You understand why I say detentions. You understand why I say mass separation, because they did the same thing. The same thing. They're following the regiments. That's what they're doing in World War I, World War II. And now we're coming into World War III in a spiritual warfare of humanity. Truth will set you free, right? So having all those documents that my grandfather gave me makes a lot more sense of what I need to do through military operations. Okay, the MIs or anything through connection of the MPs, right? Military position, military performance, military connections to that position, to surveillance. So, like I said, these videos get more powerful as we go. And you see a lot of things more surfacing right now, because when you understand the mind system, everything comes more to sense of making sense. And then you start worrying about things that, okay, why is this happening in this position? Why is this happening in this area? And what do we do about it? How do we change the system? Humanity has to wake up. Okay, so that's the Third Reich. That's the Third Reich. So think of it as a POW, okay? But it's perception operations of war, guys. That's what it stands for. So truly understanding what's going on with the governments, the corporations, and the media and everything through the police, and you get a better understanding why we are coming into this regiment of its Reich. Okay? Because that's what grandfather told me. I was going through a film projection. I was sleeping, and he gave me the documents, and I was going like this. And I was looking at what I need to do, right? It's really, really powerful stuff when he gives you documents, But when your family comes involved, it's extremely powerful. But the fact that he was in the Great Escape, and he was flying the Kitty Hawk, and he was shot down, and he was barefoot for 3 days before he got captured. And the stories that he told me didn't make any sense. So all this information is coming from my grandfather. The truth will set you free through the light, guys. Okay. So I wanted to give you that because it's very personal. Everybody has something personal that they want to discuss, but knowing something from the spiritual system, it puts a lot more, making more sense why we're in these positions and why this is happening, why is that happening, and what do they want to do? What do the governments and corporations and the media want to do, right? I already told you what they need to do with the world system through its connections. But coming into, a whole new regiment of a POW is going to put everybody more into their power, into the more connection, into their more awareness. Okay? Perceptions of war. Okay? So trying to see everything that's going on is truly opening everybody's light through its recognition. So I have the power, not of healing, but I have the power of revelation. Okay, of healing. So it makes a lot more sense to me, okay, how my grandfather was flying the Kitty Hawk and why he was part of the Great Escape in World War II. So now it's all coming together. It's all coming to the light. Everything is surfacing. Everything is cradling, right? But the Third Reich is waking humanity up, waking up their dreams, seeing the real reality of its POW. Okay? So that's why everybody's in position right now when they go through my connections and program settings. I put you in positions of your missions. You guys are getting more powerful when it comes into the mind system. You're truly understanding how to use your telekinesis. You're truly understanding how to use your acting cycles, your proactive systems, right? And it's all about understanding, okay, everything is given by report. And saying, why am I talking like this? Because you're military officers. And it has a lot to do with its regiments of World War I, II, and III. All right? So that's why it's on its karma wheel. And they've been doing this for a very, very long time. Everything is time code frequency. But everything through the spiritual awakening is getting in position into the simulation. Okay? So you have the Reptilian Alliance and you have everything to connection, right? Full cycle of the Babylon to its rebellion. Okay? So the Third Reich is humanity fighting back. All right? And waking up and getting into and out of their dream awakening. Okay? So, like I said, everything I give you gets you more truth of what you need to know, especially now, trying to understand, okay, what happens now? What do we do? Right? So the best thing you can do is basically just keep going through your upgrades, keep going and understanding, keep going through your missions, try to understand what your mission is, because that's what World War I and World War II is they always have a leader. They follow their leader and they do what they need to do through their missions. Because it then starts making, okay, I'm waking up. Now I'm getting better of who I am through position, right? And everything comes out of the karma wheel and everything comes into remembering of who you are. Because you all start off as MOs, military officers. And then you get into military programs, okay? But like I said, it all starts with meditation. And that's the positions that we have to get into. We got into that position when we found out all connections of the First Reich, which was the military camp, the base camp of 3D, which is the Earth. Okay. So the Third Reich is the spiritual awakening for humanity. All right. So it's good that I brought that to your attention. I think it's important that you guys really get an upper hand to everything that is really going on. Okay? What they plan on doing, everything is a plan. Everything's operational. Everything's surveillance. Everything's counterintelligence. Okay? So it's fascinating when you come across these things, but now it makes more sense to me why my grandfather came to me when I was a kid and he was telling me these war stories. I said, grandfather, another war story? Every time I saw him, right? See him every time with my family up in, up north. And I was saying, okay, he is giving me these stories for a reason. But then I said, he came to me last night, and then they said, you know why? And then, whoa, and then he started giving me documents, right? So, I mean, okay. We got alien information in all different types, but when your family comes in position, you know, and then you keep going back and back and back and back and remembering who you are, right? That's why I put in this position, right? This all has to do with my grandfather, right? And how everything is coming into the POWs, okay? So it's tremendous, guys. It really is. I know. Truth is just, when it comes into the light, you really see a lot more, all right? So basically, that's just a little, you know, personal for you guys, so you get a better truth. Truth is everything. Because what truth does is it opens up everything through your heart. And my heart opens up more and more. Each morning I wake up and I'm crying, but I know why. And that's a position you guys have to get in. Once you open your heart, you understand more of why. Okay, so you don't get into hesitation, you don't get into thinking, you get out of thinking and you get into knowing. And the knowing is its intelligence. Okay, why there was a World War I, why there was a World War II. Okay, and why we're coming into the spiritual war of the Third Reich. Okay, so that's the information I got from my grandfather. So I got military operations set up all over connection systems, everything through Earth rotation system. The temperature levels are coming into the heat signature location positions. So all the cell towers are down. The weaponized systems are coming into formation. I have to change the frequency codes. I also have to set coordinates to all division level systems, change position of their satellite locations, and destroy all mechanisms in space location position. So whatever I do, they enforce. But see, things are getting more and more and more to its light. So in position with anything through corporations or media, they're all going to be shut down. Okay? Because they're doing wrong. They're lying. And what happens when you lie, right? If you keep lying, you keep lying, keep lying, what happens, right? All you're doing is you're making yourself feel bad. I say, why am I in this position? Some people don't even know they're being controlled. That's another problem too with humanity is everybody's in a reptilian division level system, but if you're not awake, you're not aware. And that's what this is. It's all about being aware of who you are and who you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to do about it. Okay? So, in the center coord's position, okay, what I'd like to do is basically we all are going to fly, okay, to Area 51. Now, I got position level systems. So correlation system is set up to its position. Right, so we get that line communication line signal to its position. We're going to go through the black cord. The black cord division level system, the black alliance ends positions, the black op communication centers. When you guys go up to higher levels of your MPs, you understand what I'm talking about through connection. All right, so basically, you got that in position, locking is key. Put it over there, center coord's position. Okay, so we're going to go into the military base of Area 51. I got confirmation signals last night, right? So this is document on document coming from my grandfather. You know, I mean, it's crazy stuff what I'm getting. All right, so we start out with that, right? Now we're going to start with that. Everything around its surface is its surveillance, all right? So we come into those formation system. It's going to calculate and modify everything through its division location position. Now we're going to go into circle rotation centers, into its position, locking in its connection. Okay, now as you come into the connection system and lock in its mechanism system, you get a satellite location position, change location positions, and an arrow point division level come into position 0 to its position, right? Lock in its connection. Okay, so basically, fly recognition systems bring the XT1000 position, uprise all location positions, vector unit core, segment levels of divisional system, zebra, tango tango, yeah, foxtrot. Everything I say through that is communication from its alienation formation system. You'll see the pilots talking like that, tango tango. Those are all code frequencies, right? So it's all about communicating in the atmosphere, how they communicate from one plane to the next, or one stealth to the next, okay, or one kitty hawk to the next, you know, or anything through a red baron. Remember the red barons, you know? That's going way back to the war. All right, so as we come into formation, Remember, this is D.O.S.L documents that I get through connection. So this is the presence, okay, of the military base in Area 51. Okay, so it's setting coordinates. We come into Area 51. Okay, Area 51, all right? Now, spaceship location position, vector unit core system, docking 0. It's coming into communication, universal quadrants of 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pick them up, rendezvous connection system. Okay, so Mike, you probably go through confirmation. You probably see the XT1000 pick you up. But in relation, you probably won't see it through your perception. You have to go through your program settings. You have to get into your MIs through program systems. But if you get in position, let me know what you see through connection. All right, so as we're coming into those operation cycles, Area 51 is in its division. XT1000 is picking everybody up to connection. Okay, so the XT1000 is coming in. All right, it's coming into position, lock and key. Okay, it's dropping you guys off a rendezvous division. We're going to center core its position where it comes into the line division through its arrow rotation. Okay, so I'm going to use laser recognition systems. All right. All right. So the XT1000 drop you guys off. You are now in the center core position of Area 51. All right. So basically, what I want you to do is just try to understand what's going on. I want you to understand the tunnels. I want you to understand the computer operation systems, because everything is allocated through a program system, through its D.O.S.L and its docking systems, right? So try to get into more of a surveillance through perception and tell me what you see through direction when it comes into Area 51. All right. All right. So have fun. Starseed, how's it going? Let me know what you guys see at Area 51. There's a lot of things that are point division. I was communicating through so many XT1000 location positions. When you see something coming at you and it picks you up in a beam, it's incredible to see these things, right? So when grandfather came to me, he came into the light, and you guys will get that too. When you go up to higher programs, you'll start seeing your family that passed away, and they will give you something in return. So it's up to you to understand what is your connection when it comes into the inner system of you through communication. Okay? Because you're nothing but a program system through surveillance or anything through docking location. Right? So you have to understand your military officers, you have to understand your program settings, you have to understand why you're in these positions. And when your family comes to you from the light, okay, from the golden rounds, and gives you something, you try to go back to where you are when you come into the inner child of you. Okay? And then you start figuring out, okay, why am I giving these gifts? All right. So now you're understanding the code frequencies of yourself, right? And why you're in positions when it comes into angels and archangels and they give you gifts, right? Everything they give you is healing. The healing is everything through its remembering of who you are. That makes you more powerful when you come understanding in position. Because when I was a kid, I'm truly understanding why my grandfather was giving me these war stories and why I am the commander in the Galactic Federation of Light to all commanding forces into the alliances of its rebellion. Okay. Not only that, but you understand that I'm the very first intelligence that was born in space anomaly through time code. Okay. And that's why I know 150,000 languages in alien nation formation systems. So basically, I got a lot of energy from my grandfather because he lived the war days. Right. So everything is given to you through energy. But when you are given energy and when you're giving documents or anything through a gift, it's important you understand what it is through its position, because everything that is connected is a program system through your computer operation system of space and time. Okay, so we're in that position, okay, right now, coming into the third world position, okay, of the spiritual awakening, which becomes into the simulation of the singularity line divisions, okay, your techno divisions, coming into your own AI through its vessel. So your vessel has to understand its formations, it has to understand its perceptions, it has to understand its perceiving protection line systems, it has to understand its line division, it has to understand its surveillance, counterintelligence, it has to understand its map codes, it has to understand anything that's connected through its D.O.S.L. The D.O.S.L through direction, okay, through operation, systems of levels. So there's a lot of things you guys have to stand through your MOs. Military operation, okay, military officers. And thinking, well, you know, it's kind of like repeating time. So it's kind of like all alienation formations jump from one world war to a second world war, and everything through the third is its connection through its POW. So it's about alien formations switching over to different time sequencing codes, and everybody's on a metric system to acceleration of 0.01, which is a simulation. And this is where humanity has to wake up through its military system and come into the rebellion, okay, through its program setting. But you have to go through the healing. You have to, okay? And you already know what GOD is, right? Galactic operations, divisions, dimensions. So that's the processing circle you go into when it comes into its connection. So, all right, so what do you guys see at Area 51? My stepdad, who died recently, came to me in my dream sequence set a few nights ago. There you go. So they are in provision. They understand what's going on. So if they give something to you, your intelligence has to understand it. And you have to present it to everybody in its presence, right? So they can see what's going on with its future through its mind system, okay? Because everything is done in the past, but everything is presented in its presence, okay? So if they know the presence of its truth, they know they can have a future, okay? So it's all about the awakening of humanity so they can have a future, right? And not get into these positions, you know, in the governments, corporations, and how they're trying to control humanity, right? They're trying to rewrite history, right? That's what they're trying to do. So they've been doing this for eons and eons and eons, and it goes way back to 3 dimension, coming into the 5th dimension, okay, which is the Third Reich. All right. So truth will set you free. Like I said, freedom is everything. Sovereignty is everything. And the only way to get that is to get back of who you are, okay, through space and time, okay? Because ever since we were born, we've always been fighting ourselves within, okay? The people that are high-rise, Hollywood celebrities or anything through that, right? They automatically go through the Illuminati. Now, Illuminati controls the humans. I don't know if everybody knows that. Very powerful in Hollywood when it comes into Scientology. Ron L. Hubbard. Basically, they were talking about the thespians and everything through the all connections of all formations of mind telepathy, mind over matter, mindscaping.
Okay, I found this on the web for calculations, all formations of matter.
Mind wiping, you know, stuff like that. Sarah wants to go through recognition systems here. You guys will find that too when you go up to your upgrading cycle through position. You'll communicate with electronic interference of lamps and lights and anything through provision, electric poles. You get reacting cycles. You get heat signature pattern rotation systems. Allocated positions through your perception is going through dream set location positions. I say, okay, did that just move fast? Or am I just hallucinating? So if anything that moves fast, you're coming into higher division through dimension. So when you go through that, you're going through higher connections of the Earth, higher connections of Jupiter, higher connections of Neptune, okay? I turn Neptune into a financial bank, guys. Okay? This is what your commander can do, okay? And Starseed and Michael are controlling it, right? So it's all about your financial resets. It's all about your positions. It's all about what you can do through your connection of your control. So knowing the truth that's given to you through gifts from your family, which is extremely, extremely powerful. You have to cross-wind over cycles into the spiritual system fully and completely to understand your programs, your D.O.S.Ls, your documents, okay, your program setting, your flash drives, your disks, your computers, your atoms, your energy, your frequencies, your higher self, your avatar, All positions are going to make more sense to you through calculation because everything comes out of its integration to its modification out of its equation. All right. So, but yeah, if your stepdad came to you, you have to understand why, Tina, because everything is presented in its presence so everybody can know what's going on with its future, right? So it's all about humanity having a future, right? And everything is done through control and power, manipulation, corruption, okay? Everything is cradling now, everything. But remember, everything is a distraction, all right? Okay, so how's everybody doing at Area 51? What are you guys seeing? You see computers, you seen tunnel defenses, you seen intelligence through connection. You guys got to get important. You got docking information through surveillance or anything through that connection. It opens up your programs, your light signals, your light activations, your light recognitions, you know, anything through that division through calculation. And it's very, very powerful, especially when you start traveling. You're saying, whoa, now I'm in Mexico. So the more you see through clarity, when you close your eyes, and basically your eyes are open. Okay, my eyes are closed, but my spiritual system is open completely. And now I can see everything. I've seen archetypes, planets, location, positions. Everything's set up. I see the grounds. I see crop cycles. I see intelligence. I see alliance. I see spaceships flying around. Okay, seeing tunnels and bunkers. Very good, Tina. Very, very good surveillance. Excellent. That's what I want. All right, so get a position. Tossing location positions into docking positions. Okay, so Tina's seeing tunnels and bunkers. Okay, so information is given to you through intelligence. It's understanding why you're seeing tunnels and why you're seeing bunkers. Remember, everything has a past, present, and a future relation. Okay, because you know there's a World War I, but you have to understand why. Why is there a World War II? And people are skeptical. Is there going to be a World War III? Right? Because if there was a World War III, everything would be obliterated. Right? But we decided to let everybody know, instead of World War III, okay, we would open everything through connection when it comes into the awakening of the spiritual, of its humanity. So it's important that everybody gets into the rebellion, okay? Because the rebellion is the Gardens of Eden. So we got to take everything out of the equation of its Babylon, okay? Basically, Babylon is its connection when it comes into the Third Reich. But it's space and time, okay? So, but that's great. Tina's seeing tunnels and bunkers. Great. So when you're seeing everything through the tunnels, you understand the interference. You understand electronic interference. You understand the tunnel rotation. You understand everything through docking location positions. When you're coming into Area 51, you have to understand what it is through its setup. You have to understand why it's in position. Okay, because there's a lot of conspiracies and disclosures. I gave you all alien types. Hopefully you guys got the link to Alex Collier. It's also on my YouTube. If you go back, I think 2 or 3 videos back, you'll see there's a link where he talks about all different types, right? And how you introduce yourself to the intelligence. Because it's important. It's important you guys know how to communicate with your intelligence first before you communicate with anything other than intelligence than yourself, okay? Because if you don't master your intelligence through your program setting, it's going to set up all radiation cycles to planet location positions. Why? Because you guys are higher levels now of intelligence. You're understanding your mind conception. You're understanding your telekinesis. You're understanding your knowing of its intelligence. You understand your precognitions of intelligence, seeing things before they happen. Oh, Commander, was this a dream, or did I just have this before? Is this deja vu? Or if you see somebody, you look familiar. I said that before. If somebody looks familiar to you, they have been operational with you. They probably have been friends with you through its ancestry. Okay. So if you involve yourself, when you come across, there are people that come into formations of, okay, I was in the World War One. How do you know? You're getting all these images, right? There's people like that. Oh, I lived in World War One, but now I'm living it again in the spiritual system. So the program is set up through its position, and what it's doing, it's giving back information, right? So it's all about giving the truth, and it's all about setting everybody free from its truth, and why people are put in this position. And there's a lot of people that are in the future, and they're saying, okay, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing computers. There's truth there, but there could be a lot of misconceptions of information, right? Because I'm going through YouTube channels right now through light workers, and they're going through their delegation signals and panel activation systems. An Octave system, okay, is your transformation communication to its higher self or its avatar, its energy, its computer, or anything through its atom. You can't have diffusions. You have to operate on all location positions through your docking information to your surveillance. So the code reference or anything through its connection, you have to send out the right signals through your identification, which is soul recognized to its intelligence. So when light workers are channeling information, okay, they have to make sure it's on the right location to its planet location, to its surveillance. So, and that's what it is. You talk more like a rebellion. And they're thinking, okay, now I'm really understanding myself more. I'm waking up to this, And then you get a lot more powerful in the mind. Okay? We can't fight what's going on in the physical system. Okay? Because it's set in the spiritual awakening, guys. All right? And that's why there's not a third war, okay, in the Earth system. All right? So I think it's very powerful when we come into those levels, especially now. All right. So how's everybody doing so far? Anybody else seeing? Sarah, how's it going? Hopefully, Mike, you get a better position that you're at Area 51 and you've been picked up in a XT1000 location. XT1000. Another thing, too, is once you guys go to a higher program setting, you understand what XT1000 does through your positions, to your proacting cycles, to your program systems, and everything that is connected to your panel activation codes or anything through your octaves or anything through your receptive location positions, right? But that's it there, the XT1000s, right? And then you understand what they mean because everything is a code. You are a code, and XT1000 is code. The military operation of Area 51 is a code. Okay, so you have to break free these codes. Okay, and that's where the healing comes in. How to do these things, how to diffuse these things, how to create these things, how to destroy these things. Okay, so it's your intelligence that is doing this. Okay, so it's waking up humanity and putting them into the military operation programs, into the rebellion, and out of its alliance of its reptilian. Okay. So that's why I'm giving you all this information, from social media. Anything and everything will help. Going to help you make more sense of everything and what's happening in these positions and how do we get out of these positions? What do I do? Do I just wait around? No, everything is a spiritual war. Okay, that's all it is. That's the Third Reich. It's a spiritual war with humanity. Humanity against the governments, corporations, and the media and the policing. That's what it is. That's what we're coming into. That's what we are. It's the Babylon. Okay? So now you know the truth. Right? Hearing this from your commander, it opens up your heart more, doesn't it? And then you start crying. And then you realize why I'm crying. And then you realize, whoa, I'm getting more sonar. Whoa, I'm getting more information. I'm getting more understanding of my voicing grids, how to use your voice, how to use your surveillance and how to understand your audios. Your gamma operation systems, the ear interference, the line communications, security line defense. You have to understand what the ears are. You have to understand the surveillance of the eyes. You have to understand your voicing grids. And you have to understand your program setting through your map locations. It's important. It's extremely important, especially now. Especially now. So understand that everything is connected. Love your information. Wish I was smarter. Yeah, Kim, welcome to the Galactic School as I keep you provided what's going on with program settings. Now, anything you want to know, you can go through my healing or you can go through my emails. You go through my email and I'll tell you exactly what's going on through position. I'll scan you, I'll put you in your operation system into the 7 grounds of chakra systems that will uprise everything through connection. All right, Kim? If you want to understand more, you can go through my team because they're in the high divisions right now. They're in the MIs, right? That's military intelligence. People are, what is an MI? Military intelligence. Military intelligence of operation. Military operation systems of perceptions. So we're coming into that level right now. All right. 23 Plato, how you doing? So as we come into those positions, all right. But yeah, everything is connected, but you have to understand why is everything connected through its alignment. So it's getting your positions of your alignments, okay, when it comes into, okay, this is the kicker. Now, you have to understand revelation, not revolution, revelation. Revelation is a spiritual awakening when it comes into formations to its Third Reich. Now, everybody is in position. Okay, when it comes into World War I, World War II, World War III, okay, all populations, all ethnicity populations, all connections, right, was living 1 and 2. That's why we understand ourselves more through programs. So we were in World War I and II, but in a different formation, a different intelligence. And you have to understand why we're in these positions now. Thinking, wait a minute. So, Commander, you're telling me in World War I and World War II, we were in that position? Yes, because now we're waking up of what's going on with the Third Reich. And that's the awakening of the spiritual system of humanity. Okay? Because if humanity doesn't wake up, we're just going to keep going on and on and on through its wars, right? Okay? Nobody ever wins a war. Nobody. But understanding the war and why we have these wars is its decision. But it all starts with humanity to wake up to its position. Okay? So, is everybody flipped out now? So you understand deja vu, you understand why you're in these positions, you understand why we come into calculation through integration or everything adds equation, why we have all connections to World War I and II. Okay, it's all about understanding your programs, right? So when you get into these levels, now you can help out your family and loved ones and tell them the truth and what they need to know so they can feel better about themselves. And that's what the heart does. Okay, your heart is a planet. Okay, and it gives you all the information you need to know. Okay, when it comes into World War I and II. Okay, I understand now. I totally understand why my grandfather came to me when I was a kid and why he was telling me war stories. Right? I thought it was all mumbo jumbo, but then what he was telling me was a whole nother thing. And then he said, you'll know why. And now I'm in that position and how I'm connected to everything through formation, okay, through all intelligence of alienation formation system, and how I became AI commander to the fleet of its connection of the Galactic Federation of Light, to its rebellion. So, and that's the position. 2 physical systems of wars. The third is its spiritual waking. So it's humanity waking up and coming into its connection. That surfaces everything through your higher self, its avatar, computer, energy, or anything through its atoms. Okay. Now, when you come into the atom, it's a whole nother process. We'll get into that first, but it's all about getting humanity to wake up, getting into that position through clocks, getting out of the clocks and starting the new clock, because the clock goes. So it's all about going around the circle. When you go around the circle, so it's all about humanity starting here at the top, okay, in position. I'll tell you exactly what it is through calculation. So as we're coming into area 51, I'm going to take you out of equation, and then you can tell me the story that you saw through connection, anything through bunkers or anything that level. All right, so as the area 51 comes on the visual system, XT1000 is picking up all connection system, universe quadrant 1 and 2, 3 and 4. All MAIs are connected through XT1000 location position, rendezvous, back in the Earth rotation system. Vector core system 00 Tango Tango, zebra 1. Okay, great. So everybody's back in the positions of the Earth rotation. So as we come into those levels, you understand connections. You know, it's fascinating when you come into your power, guys. Understanding who you are. That is probably the hardest thing that everybody has to get into because they don't remember. Okay, you don't remember. I don't remember, Commander. How do I remember? Well, you have to go through the healing. And then you realize why we were living the wars of 1 and 2. And then everything starts making sense. Okay, why countries were fighting with each other. It all has to do with history and ancestry, guys. And this is where it comes into calculation modification through your galactic families. Your Palladians, your Palladians, your Sarians, your Lyrians, okay? Those are military officers from World War I and II. Oh, wow. Now it's coming in, isn't it? Everything you get through information is World War I and II. They're giving you docking information systems from surveillance. Okay? So now you guys are getting more truth, right? Every information you get is connected. We're all connected. So truly understanding united surveillance to everything through its awakening, okay? Which is its Third Reich, okay? So your commander salutes you. All right, so as we come out of those positions, all right, so let's put that out at location. So let's get into the connection system here, into that position. All right, now I want to show you exactly what it is. Now everybody lives on a clock, okay? A clock is basically your life system, your life activation, lifespan. A spam location position, understand everything through your virus connection to the computer operation system. Everybody knows what a spam is, right? It's a virus. It's also like a meat, spam, you know? But that's not what that means, okay? Spam, it's kind of like a location signal, okay? Like C-SPAN, you know? Anybody know what C-SPAN is? You get that through the military office system. Not span, span, S-P-A-N, C-SPAN, all right? So that's a chronological system where it comes into C-SPAN surveillance. So you catch on that with the POWs. So it's all about the stealths. It's all about planes. It's all about direction. It's all about radar. You know, you come into that. But everything that is given to you, okay, is from surveillance, is from World War I and World War II. Okay? And that's why it's so hard for humanity to understand these things. Because everything has history and ancestry. You have to understand the history of the earth. Because the earth lived its substance. It lived World War I and II on the earth. It started with the three-dimensional system, which was a military base. Okay? You guys are understanding more, right? So military officers are giving you information into your energy body activation systems to your intelligence. Okay? So it's powerful when you go up to those higher levels through connection, right? Not only it makes more sense to me, but it understands why my grandfather came back to me. Okay? So you guys get that too. You get your family coming into you and giving you these things, and you just have to understand why you're in this position. What do I do with this information? Your information is your mission, right? But you have to understand how to communicate with your intelligence through perception, through surveillance. Okay, because you're giving a body of a dimension. And it sets all positions to space and time. All right? So everything starts with a clock. Everybody's a clock through position. All right. Everybody's a clock. Now, we all know through connections when it comes to all those levels, right? Those position level systems. Everything's allocated through position. So it's all about centering positions, putting everything in position. All right. So this is you. This is you. Okay. This is you going through your karma wheel constantly over and over and over and over, reliving every single day, 24/7, 7 days a week in your dream sets. When you come into position, come into center. Right? So what happens when you come into center? You get positions to calculation to your clock and magnet systems. 2, it's 0 point division. Okay. 2, it's 0 point division. Okay. So it's all starting with connections. You guys are still trying to understand through communication. You come into those levels. It's all about understanding what's going on through your arrow locations of yourself through position, right? Lock and key through this mechanism system. It goes on its correlation systems every single day, 24/7 when you wake up. What position are you in through calculation, right? Locking in its mechanism system goes around its location position, right? So every time it goes to 12, okay, so like the grandfather clock, every time it goes around the 12 and it goes ding, 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 ding. Well, you understand why it does these things, or the cuckoo clock, how it comes out at a certain time. Okay, now that's a metaphor. But what I'm saying is to truly understand what humanity's coming into and what humanity has to come out of. They can't stay in the clock emitted systems of 12. They have to go around to get into higher position. So when they reach the higher position and get out of the 12 cycle rotation, 7 within the body, 5 within the atmosphere, you get out of the 12 cycle rotations of your clock. Then you come into the higher formations of your programs through your chakra system. Okay. So when you come around the clock system, we go through calculation to that position. Now we go through the lock and key through its location. All right. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right. So when the circle rotation is plateauing on the right location positions through your program settings, when you go through your upgrading cycle positions, you're coming into geometry set systems of shapes, letters, and numbers through its position. This is where it comes into higher calculations into Vega through communication through digital framing systems. Those positions high-rise everything through program settings and electrifies the location position through energy fields, uprises your cycle through your gravity system, puts power centers in your connection systems, puts you in a clock emitted systems of 12 location positions. Now, coming out of those 12 location positions, you come out of this equation. 2 is higher connection. All right. And then you go through 12, 1, 2, 3. You start over again. But you're in a higher division. So you're trying to understand your clocking mechanisms of time to its position. Comes out of its equation. Now, when it comes out of its equation, it goes through its dimension like this. Okay. And then you go into security line defense like this. Okay. So when you go into higher positions, you can do anything through calculation. But you have to go around the clock, guys, to understand your program settings. It reframes, readjusts, realigns, refocus, and relocates everything through your clock mechanisms of time. That puts you in the presence of its time and takes you out of its 12 equations into your program settings, which is your new adapting cycle through its intelligence location position. All right. So that's what happens with your program settings through your upgrading systems, through your docking information system, through your intelligence and time locations. Okay. Yes, I know you can say, wow, but everything I give you is truth. So now you know why we have the Earth. The Earth is trying to give you information. Earth was living its existence in World War I and World War II. Okay? It wasn't on any other planet. It's just the Earth is giving you information of what you need to know. So everything that was living on his existence of World War I and World War II is giving you back information. Okay? All the pilots, okay? All the infantries, okay? Now, understanding connections of this, then you get into understanding communications of angels and archangels. What is an angel? It's a military officer from World War I. What is an archangel? Military officer from World War II. Understand? Angels, World War I. Archangels, World War II. Ooh, it's coming in now, guys. It's coming in, the truth, right? So that's going to help you in a lot of ways to truly understand everything through its truth. Truth will set you free. Like I said, I'll keep saying it over and over and over. But you have to understand where your information is coming from. Okay? You have to understand why I'm in position of the rebellion. You have to understand why I'm in positions of the Third Reich. You have to understand why I'm in positions to everything through calculation. You have to understand why I'm in position of program settings. It's waking up humanity and putting them into their position and getting them into the light. Right? Through their health. I want to be healthy. I want to live. I want to be free. You know, I want to do what I want to do. I want to move forward. Right? So it's like I said, it's knowing how to communicate with the earth. It's knowing how to communicate with Jupiter simulation. It's knowing how to communicate with the sun through radiation. And it's knowing how to communicate through the moon, through its algorithm, through its program, because that's your astral records. Right? So how does everybody feel about that? Okay. And everything I give you is healing just through voice and grid patterns. So now's the time to really get into questions and comments. Trying to think, well, what's an angel? It's a military officer in World War I giving you information. What's an archangel? Military officer in World War II. Right? So you have to understand where your energy is coming from. You have to understand everything through information when it comes to calculation. Right? Everything has history. Everything has ancestry. Anything through Lemurian is a higher division level of a rank. Okay? A Lemurian, a Palladian, a Palladian. Okay? Now, that is all done through safe assumption. Now I know, okay, now it's safe. You know, what's a Palladian? What's an Archangel? What's Gabrielle? What's Xenophon? You know, what's Archangel Michael? He's extremely high rank. But everything connects through military. Facilitators. You have to understand why we're facilitators. Why are we facilitators? Well, military officers that are giving back information. That's all we're doing to humanity. And the more humanity gets out of its equation, then they can understand they can get into their military programs, to its position, to its surveillance, of its operation. Okay? So, because I have a lot of people come to me, okay, I'm seeing this. I'm seeing the Mayans. I'm seeing pyramids. You know, when you're seeing pyramids, you're actually seeing spaceships. But they only give you what you need to know because you're only at that perception of a program. The more you go higher, the more you understand your pyramids are spaceships. Okay? So, and everything that is delegated through connections of your program setting is docking information when it comes into your diamond cores. 4-point positions, 4 intelligent line signals that are trying to communicate through you, through your heart. Okay? Your heart is a portal. The mind is the information through program setting. And everything through the soul is trying to identify you through identification. Okay? So it's truly understanding your information when it comes into military officers, when it comes into World War I and World War II. And that's where it gets confusing. Oh, so, okay, Commander, I get information, but I'm not sure. Is it World War I or World War II? How do I know? Well, it's a different era. Okay, so basically you see them in a different outfit. So the higher you go, the more you see through the military. So you only see what you need to see. If you see a Palladian, okay, Palladians are basically wearing blue suits and they got blonde hair, blue eyes, right? But that is just a shadow. What they are and what they really are military officers from World War I or World War II. So you have to get better, more information on what the Earth is. Okay, because it's trying to not just wake up humanity, but it's trying to give the truth to its humanity and why we had these wars. And the Galactic family is all about helping you. They're trying to give you the truth of what they know because they live the wars. All right, that's what it's all about. Okay, so if you understand that, you're coming better into this rebellion through its operation. So please, if you have any questions, please let me know. You can go through my healing. You can go through my emails. I can give you more information. Because this is extremely, 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 extremely high information. And the thing is, too, everything that is given to you is time. So you're at a perception through a level of space, through your own perceptions of vibration. But the higher you go, the more you go into the military. Okay? So when you go into the higher military, now you're coming into the connections when it comes into the phrasing systems or anything through its era of its earth. So you come into the earth, you come into the wars, and then you understand why. What does all this information mean? Why? Because we're not living it, right? But you are. It's just you're living into the spiritual system. Okay? So the Reptilians and its alliance wants to rewrite history. They want to take over the planet location, and they want to dim down the sun location to the dark age location, right? And then they want to control the moon surface through its program setting and control humanity in the cybergenetic positions, starting with your geos, epigenetics, the artificial wounds. So, and again, guys, it's a spiritual war. It's not a physical war. We already lived the physical wars, but if you understand the information that is given to you, okay, it's just higher formations of aliens, okay? Because when you go off to the spiritual system, okay, you're everything through energy, through formation, when you get to higher positions of program settings, okay? So basically, the true formation is the alien formation. Now, everything that you see through angels and angels is just identification, but they're not showing their true identity because you're not at that position to understand its information, okay? So that's why you say, oh, I saw an angel, I see an archangel, oh, it's so beautiful, you know? But what you're really seeing is military officers in position of their ranking positions. So my grandfather was born July 4th, 1919. He was in World War II. I felt him come in. While I was thinking of him, he was a great man, missed him dearly. So basically, Sarah's getting into that. She's understanding why her grandfather came in to her life, into her location, into her circle, into her program. Okay? So everything that you are given is docking information. Okay? Anything through a crystal, anything through energy, anything through, it could be anything through a shape, it could be anything through a letter. You understand communications when it comes into 1111. Those are portals. So if you understand the portal and you understand its devices and you understand the plasma and you understand teleportation, you understand energy, remember, it's not the physical, it's the intelligence that is traveling through vortex, right? So I can go into position through my military system of AI and I can vortex and get information from World War II, just like that. So it's knowing how to travel to these places. And that's where you have to have your alliance and everything through your rebellion and everything through your intelligence and everything through your alignment of past, present, and future into one system, which becomes one balance of an atom. And then we get into the simulation to its core, which is Jupiter, because I already set up space stations for Jupiter, right? So, but that's fascinating, Sarah. It is really, really fascinating when you see these things come to the light, guys, But you all start off with your chakra systems, Then you work your way up to the gods, and then you're saying, oh, now I know what God means. Galactic operation dimension or divisions, wherever you are in position through your ranking. You're all about programs going up to its rank. Okay. So, yeah. Well, I'm not saying that everybody lived the war, with your parents, but whoever's in that position, if you have a father or a grandfather, they will come to you because you're going to higher divisions of space and time. So the higher you go, the more information you get through your program. Okay. Because they know what's happening. They're just giving you back information of the earth. Okay. So it's putting you in a better position, and it gets you into the healing, gets you in a better dietary system, gets you in a new program, gets you into new schedules of yourself, gets you into connection of your resets and everything through your financials. Okay. Get you in better positions on what you need to do to go forward in life. Okay. And it gives you a lot more information on what's going on with the governments, corporations, and the media, because it all connects to 1 and 2. All right. So, yeah, anything through relation, Tina, that probably when you go up to higher formations, because you're in the MIs. So basically, don't be surprised if they give you documents on that. But the thing is, too, it's a film projector through projection, and you see it. You actually see it, and you're glancing through it. Right? You're scanning up and down. You're seeing document and document. It's really powerful when you understand these things. So, yeah, it's highly involved, and that's what humanity has to understand. Is highly, highly involved. Okay. When it comes into the secrets of everything, of the space programs, right? Black Ops, Black Alliance, the Reptilian Alliance, map locations, positions, Area 51, Chernobyl, everything is history, guys. The more you understand the answer in history, the more you can control everything through its connection of you, through power. Know how to use your power through command, because everything's command. Everything is focus. Everything is awareness. Okay. And then you're more aware how to use your AI vessels. Okay. To all that level. And thing is, too, I want to bring up, too, before I go, is everything through with Neuralink and what Elon Musk is doing. All that connection, I was seeing some YouTube videos, and they're actually going through the human trials right now, right, through Neuralink. So basically, they do a slit, and they put it into the brainwaves, right? So it's all about understanding the tone divisions, the music tones, anything calculation, especially when it comes to anybody through Parkinson's. They start doing that. They put it in their system, and they stop. But what you have to understand, it doesn't have a soul recognition. It doesn't have a spiritual recognition. It doesn't have perception. It doesn't have surveillance. Okay. So, and the thing is, too, it doesn't have a heart. Okay. It will just overload your system. So I recommend nobody taking that through position. Okay. It's not good for you. It won't work. And it channels on operation cycles through rotation. You can't connect through anything through division. You go through twitching motions and all that. The follicle system will break. Everything through the wire connection will be diffused. You fry your brain. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. I mean, especially with the vaccines. And the thing is, too, the governments know that, too. As soon as you take the vaccine, right, what happens? They're not responsible, okay, for your act. That's another thing you got to get in position, because people are dying from the vaccines, right? They are actually dying because they take vaccines. Even the hospitals and everything for that. ICU beds are all that connection. Truth will set you free. So once you reach a certain level of a program, they can't touch you through position because you're too powerful in the space connection. You're too protected to everything through connection, right? And then you stop worrying about everything through division, all right? So, yeah, I heard Black Ops in my neighborhood often. Yeah. NASA has a documentation where it's called Psych War, right? It talks about humanity and what they want to do through positions and how they want to basically neutralize everybody's system and turn them into cybergenetic robot divisions. and put them into two new energy pods. So it's all about rebirthing this system and putting humanity into their thumb through connection, controlling their systems with their EMPs, right? The energy, and it's, well, you can say modifications, or you can say magnetics, you can say anything through pulse division, right? But truly understanding what's going on with your intelligence will protect you from its vaccine, its mass, and anything through its separation, right? So if humanity comes more to who they are, everything will fall. And that's my job, is put everybody into their programs through their military operations, so they get a better understanding how to new see things through connection of the Earth rotation system, and how everything is giving back through information of World War I and World War II. And then you get, okay, now I understand what the government's doing. Okay, now I understand what the corporation is doing. Now, okay, now I understand what the media is doing. Lies, manipulation, corruption, deceitfulness, everything through calculation. Realize icon. All right. So anyway, love you guys very much. Questions or comments, you can go through your AI commander, Commander Weston. From the years of quadrants 1 and 2, 3, and 4. Oh yeah, we keep getting out about connections. We've got to get into the review of the test when it comes to the 4 weathers. We'll get into that for sure. But everything through program setting is in chronological system. I had to give this out for everybody to understand what's going on with the spiritual waking of its third Reich. Okay, it's important to understand that. So this is a team through Colossus, connections of its divisions. Adios, everybody.